Some games don't just tell a story, they present it. They give you performances that feel lived in, scenes that breathe, and momentum that pulls you from quiet character moments to epic scenes that feel like climaxes. When people say a game plays like a movie, they're talking about pacing you can feel, framing that guides your eye, music that knows when to swell and when to fade away, and choices that land like lines of dialogue. It isn't only about cutscenes, but how mission transitions feel like scene changes, the way a battle feels choreographed instead of chaotic, the way a small decision in one chapter echoes 3 chapters later. It's the confidence to linger on a look, to use silence, and to let you sit with the fallout. If you want unforgettable arcs, cinematic rhythm, and moments that stick long after the credits, you're in the right place. Here are 10 best story-driven games that play like a movie. Let's take a closer look.
What if it's true?
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about.
The Last of Us. Brutal and unforgettable. It's a story about 2 people trying to hold on to their humanity when everything else is gone. The pacing feels like a premium TV series. Quiet scenes, sudden danger, and long walks that say more than dialogue. The battle was desperately planned. Bullets are scarce. Choices are difficult. So every fight feels driven by character, not chasing a score. The acting carries it. Small glances, unfinished sentences, and authentic feeling arguments made this world feel real before the first clicker appeared. It's a road movie with a conscience, and it doesn't flinch when empathy gets complicated. If you want a game that respects silence, using violence as emphasis, and staying in your mind for days, start here.
You have no idea what loss is.
Of course, from now on, we need to isolate him.
You want to lock him away?
Do you know what your brother is capable of?
Hugo is condemned.
The last threshold means the death of the carrier.
A Plague Tale, Requiem, a sibling story wrapped in dread and sunlight. Requiem leans into contrast, beautiful landscapes, then seas of rats, and uses that clash to push Amisha and Hugo to the edge. Stealth is tense but readable. Gadgets and routes give you control without disrupting the atmosphere. What makes it cinematic is the momentum. Scenes roll into each other with music doing quiet, heavy lifting, and the camera holds long enough for the world to breathe. It's about care and cost, how far you'll go for family, how guilt reshapes love, and when it lands like a closing shot you can't shake.
Oh no.
Even if we fail, we lay the trail for those who will come after. Right? We.
Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. A fascinating adventure with an artistic touch. It feels like watching a movie journey through a world that still remembers its past beauty. The battles are dramatic rather than noisy. Stylish timing, deliberate choices, and animation that feels like choreography. The cast matters. Companions not only crack jokes, but also point out aspects of the setting that you would have missed if you hadn't been paying attention. The background music and art direction work in harmony, giving each area a lasting personality that stays with you long after you leave it. It's the kind of game where a single vista says more than a paragraph, and where the next destination feels like turning a page.
We need to go now.
She's fine. Extinction's on hold for now.
I'll be waiting for you on the beach.
Death Stranding, a quiet epic story about connection. Death Stranding presents its story through a long journey without dialogue, where the weather, terrain, and music do the talking. Deliveries become meaning. You build routes, leave tools, and watch strangers' structures change the country. When cutscenes arrive, they hit like chapters. Big, weird, earnest, and supported by a cast that commits. The action scenes feel like a genre shift. Stealth, thriller, even kaiju-scale spectacle. But the through line is simple and cinematic. One person walking forward because someone's waiting on the other side.
This is how we'll rebuild our country.
Are you prepared to suffer to save your son? You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera. If you succeed, you will get your reward.
Heavy Rain, an interactive thriller that hands you the steering wheel. Heavy Rain frames its story in scenes and lets your decisions stick. Awkward, heroic, or fatal. QuickTime interactions aren't just button prompts. They are the tensions that make you do what your character does under pressure. Perspective shifts keep you guessing. Wet streets from the rain, intricate patterns, and revelations that change the way you remember previous chapters. This game isn't as perfect as most pulp thrillers, but it's very captivating.
Ethan Mars is innocent. I can prove it.
You keep lookout.
Lookout? Lookout for what?
One by one, their lights will be snuffed out.
House of Ashes. Claustrophobic horror meets military thriller. House of Ashes puts a squad underground where the enemy isn't what they trained for. The cinematic edge comes from controlled framing, flashlight beams carving scenes out of darkness, and the way choices ripple across relationships. Every quick decision feels like a director's cut. Small angle changes, different outcomes, new lines delivered with different heat. It's built for rewatch value in game form, and the ensemble carries it with performances that feel more like a tight TV season than a surprise clip. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, the blueprint for blockbuster pacing. Uncharted 2 is set-piece storytelling, a museum heist, a collapsing building, and a train fight on a cliff edge. Each moment flows right into the next without losing character beats. Drake's banter masks real stakes. Elena and Chloe aren't just sidekicks, they complicate decisions and keep scenes alive. Platforming and gunfights are presented like action scenes. The geography is always clear, and the danger is always escalating. It's pure cinema, and it still moves like a movie you'd watch with friends.
The right to play God! Why are you doing that?
Maybe you don't like them as much as you pretend to.
I don't know! Don't think you idiot! Fucking pay!
Until Dawn, a love letter to late-night horror delivered with surprising warmth. Until Dawn hands you the cast, the cabin, and the rules, then lets your choices write the script. The butterfly effect isn't a gimmick. From slasher to creature feature to survival drama, performances sell the arcs. People you underestimate can grow into interesting characters, and heroes can be destroyed if you play them wrong. It feels like being in the room with the writers, pitching outcomes, and living with the mess. Perfect for a couch crowd, and still powerful solo.
Right here until dawn.
Jessica!
You can't let me die!
I've never seen a samurai fight like that.
Ghost of Tsushima, a samurai film you can walk through. Ghost of Tsushima inspired by Kurosawa in framing, wine direction, and dual choreography. The camera loves silhouettes against fields and storms, and the game trusts you to find beauty in movement, following the wind, stopping at a shrine, composing a haiku that says more than a speech. The conflict inside Jin, between honor and necessity, drives scenes that feel staged rather than scripted. Combat is clean and readable. Standoffs land like stingers, and quiet moments carry as much weight as sieges. It's cinematic, not just because it looks good, but because it understands rhythm.
They'll probably hang you, buddy.
You coming, buddy?
Red Dead Redemption 2, a full-length western that allows you to experience every detail. Red Dead Redemption 2 focuses on characters. Arthur Morgan's internal arc shapes everything, and the gang isn't background, they're the heart. Story missions are crafted like scenes, but the magic is what happens on the way there. A song by the fire, a stranger on the road, a choice you make that only you remember. The cinematic power comes from restraint. Shots linger, dialogue breathes, towns feel staged but alive, and the epilogue lands like a final act that changes the entire perspective of the story. Few games commit this hard to performance, tone, and world building. Fewer still stick the landing this well.
You're the only one of these fools that I trust.
Where's our money?
Do you have my bag?